This is Kenny with Simple Living for Sanity at blogspot.com. Here to share with you how to make inexpensive raised beds with common wood that you'll find at your local hardware store. Always check out your local hardware store, but you can always go to a Home Depot as well. I bought the cedar fencing, 1x6x6. It's thin boards, but it'll do the trick. It's $1.97 for 6 feet. You can hear my chicken. She must be laying or has an opinion. Let's go check on her real quick. I feel like I'm disturbing her in the middle of labor or something. What's all the sounds? What's all the sounds, Daphne? Is that it? That's so dorking. It's Daphne. Hi, Daphne. It's going down. Maybe you want to lay. Petunia was in your spot. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna let you have your time. Petunia's like, all right. I've had enough of this. Yeah. Fun. So yeah, I have a circular saw. It's an old circular saw I borrowed from my mother-in-law, and I bought a new blade for it, one of their inexpensive ones at a Home Depot, and I used that to cut most of my wood. Keep in mind that most of the Home Depots, if you want like 2 pieces cut, they'll do it for free. After that, it's like 25 cents a cut, and it might be worth just having them do it if you don't have access to a circular saw, or if you just want it done quick, because it's still pretty inexpensive in the grander scheme of things to just have them do it. For the corners that you see in those raised beds, I look for this stuff, anything that I can find in their garbage cans. This is the wood that they use on the pallets that kind of hold and bind everything together with all the wire, whatever they use to keep all their new wood on the pallets. They toss this 90% of the time, but more recently, they must have caught on to this, but they started selling it in the bin at one of the ones I went to. It was like 41 cents for about a 4-foot or so one. That's fine. It works great. I don't think it's, cedar necessarily or fir like you should use on your beds, but I've had no problem with it working. And again, when it's free, it's pretty nice. You put those here. On this one, for instance, this is fir wood, which is even better. But again, it was like 41 cents for a pretty good size one. Then I just cut it at home. And I used some galvanized steel bolts in here, or screws that is, and use an electric drill. And you have the 6-foot board here. Cut the board in half for the corners, some for the side ones here. So all together for $1.97 a board, we're looking at $1, 2, 3, 4, $5. It's about $5 to make a bed. If you get those corner ones for free, for instance, at most, maybe $6. Not a bad deal. Pretty happy with that. See, I'm making a bunch more for a front strip of our yard. This is a smaller one I made. So it's 3 foot across on every single side. Galvanized screws. Got them at the local Ace Hardware. These ones were reclaimed wood, and so it was older fence board that I took apart from some fences I found thrown in someone's backyard from like a builder guy that he wasn't using from an old house, and I just took them apart, and I did the exact same thing with these. They worked out just fine. These are all fence boards bought from a Home Depot. Some are 8 foot. Depending on what was on sale, sometimes I'll cut them accordingly. And all around it is mulch. There is some weed barrier underneath, weed barrier cloth. That side has the real cloth, and I'll tell you, get the cloth, don't get the plastic. I had a bunch of weeds coming up over here on this side, and grass, the old grass that had been killed. It germinated, it came back, and it just came right through a lot of it. Don't get the plastic stuff, pay the extra and get the cloth. That whole side has been a lot more effective in keeping the weeds away the last couple of years. And the mulch I got for free. And the key to that, the trick to that, is you look around and see if anyone's cutting down a tree in your neighborhood. Usually an arborist or a tree crew of some sort, and just ask them, hey, could you leave off the wood chips when you're done? They break it all down in the back of their truck, and they have to find a place to drop it off, and sometimes that costs money. So it's nice for them to be able to leave them off at a nearby neighbor's house where the tree's being cut down, where they're doing their work, and just let go of it, and then I can make use of it. It's pretty cool. And this was like a fir tree that I think they were cutting down. It's got a bunch of pine needles in it. I think that'd be good for keeping the weeds down. And I like it too because it doesn't look all manufactured like the stuff you buy in bags where it's all like the perfect same size. Looks like you're out of a Crate and Barrel catalog. This is much cooler. And again, it's free. I like free. So those are my tips for raised beds. I also wanted to add that when you're doing this, I wanted to make every little piece of this property food. That was my goal. But I also wanted to make it practical, and that's why I did raised beds, because it's easier to plant. I have a bad back, and not having to lean over as much is nice. You can mulch around soil too. I mean, there's other ways to do it. You don't need to make raised beds, but I like the fact that I was able to go get 4-way soil, have it left off here. It's got all the right nutrients in it, and add compost once in a while or steer manure every season to bring back some nutrients. But really, the main reason is because it looks nice in the yard, and I don't have to bend over as much. And I have just enough space where I can put my rolling plastic cart through here, or wheelbarrow, for when I need to sow some more seeds or pull weeds or whatever. It's a lot easier to have just this pretty reasonable amount of space of about 2 feet between. But I think it's looking pretty good. Looking really good. I'm really loving this. So if you want to do it inexpensively, just use fence board or look out for reclaim stuff. And this is Kenny, just signing out from Simple Living Sanity at blogspot.com. Be sure to check back on some videos, check out the website, and enjoy your summer. Take care.